Most people do not need bigger or better goals. When you're goal setting, what you need is higher standards for yourself, more clarity, more direction, and a bigger vision for the identity that you're trying to step into. So a lot of you guys watching this will be setting goals. January 1st, 2026, and writing out goals that you want to achieve within the year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little bit of a framework in terms of how I set my goals and what I do. This is just advice. You can take it, you can leave it, but I've been goal setting for the last 4 or 5 years consistently, going back, making sure I have achieved those goals. And this is everything that I have learned over those 5 years to help myself and also help clients achieve the goals that they have set out for themselves. So I'm going to sit back and I'm just going to get into a little bit of a flow state with this. The first thing when it comes to goal setting is, and especially New Year 2026, there's nothing special about the new year. Nothing changes, okay? The clock strikes midnight and then all of a sudden it's January 2026, but nothing changes, okay? You're still the same person. But if you're setting these goals for yourself for the end of the year, you need to step into the identity of the person that achieves those goals, okay? So I'm not big on hype or, new year, new me. But what I am big on is clarity, vision, direction, being clear on what you're trying to achieve and the person that you need to become to achieve those goals. So when you're talking about goal setting, you can't talk about goal setting without talking about why most goals fail. And the reason most goals fail is people set too many goals for themselves. They put too much pressure on themselves. They set unrealistic timelines and they expect quick, fast changes. This leads to an all or nothing mindset. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they haven't stepped into the identity of the person that achieves those goals yet. And that's really what I want to work on in this video, or talk about on this video, is how to goal set, how to achieve the goals, but also how important identity shifting is when it comes to achieving your goals. So the first thing that you need to think about is your time horizon, okay? A goal is great, but a goal without a deadline is just a bit of a dream. You need to have a timeline in place to help you achieve those goals, okay? A goal without action is just thought, and a goal without deadline is just a dream. There are two phrases that I use with a lot of my clients and anyone that I come in contact with when we're talking about goal setting and what we're hoping to achieve in the new year. So shift your time horizon from 4 to 8 weeks, 12 weeks to 6 to 12 months. That's realistically what is required to achieve anything valuable, anything substantial, anything that's going to be monumental, life-changing. That's going to take time. So consistency over time will build confidence in yourself. It'll build self-trust. You are stacking evidence that you are capable of achieving those goals every single day. What you should think about is, what would my life look like in 6 to 12 months if I stay consistent? What are the day-to-day actions that person ticks off to achieve those goals? And then also look at the cost of inaction. In 6 to 12 months, if I don't achieve those goals, if I don't set out what I'm going to do, how is that going to affect me? Or how is that going to affect you? Now, the big thing that before we get into the goal setting is identity. Goals are just outcome. They're an outcome-based achievement, but identity is who you are becoming in the process to achieve those goals. Identity is the traits and behaviors that you repeat day after day, week after week, consistently. And when you're looking at achieving a goal, you need to think about the identity of the person that achieves those goals and who you need to become to achieve those goals. Step into those shoes now. So one thing that I'll always say to clients is, work for your future self. Work for you in 6 months, 12 months time, the person who has achieved those goals, okay? A good way of thinking about it is, imagine there's a devil and an angel on your shoulder, for lack of a better term. And one of them is, the angel is the good, the good influence. It's telling you to get up out of bed. It's telling you to prep your food, it's telling you to hit the gym, it's telling you to do whatever you need to do in business and your relationships to get you closer towards that goal. And it's big on delayed gratification. But then there's a devil on your shoulder. And the devil on your shoulder is the behaviors and the traits that you probably have had for the last couple of years, the ones that are pulling you down. The devil on your shoulder will tell you to snooze the alarm clock. Your devil on your shoulder will tell you to skip the gym because it wants instant gratification. It wants instant dopamine. It wants an extra 10-15 minutes in bed. Whereas the angel on your shoulder, the good person on your shoulder, working for your future self, working for the best version of yourself in 6 to 12 months, that person sets the alarm clock the night before at a rational time, 6 a.m. to get up, because that was a rational decision to set the alarm clock for that time to take off everything that it needs to do within that day. So you need to work for your future self. Don't give in to instant gratification. Don't give in to dopamine. Don't give in to, just sleeping in for an extra 10-15 minutes, because your future self wouldn't do that. The identity that you're trying to step into, the shoes that you're trying to step into, they get up when the alarm clock rings. They get up and they do everything that they need to do. They take off everything they need to do every single day to achieve their goals. And your future self isn't imaginary. It's just you with the standards that you need to be holding for yourself and taking action every single day on it. And when you're looking at where you are now, current self, to where you want to get to your future self, there's a gap that you need to close. And that gap isn't knowledge. That gap is just behavior. That gap is just your traits, your day-to-day action steps that are required to get you there. And the time is going to pass regardless. Another 12 months will pass by, and if you're still here and you're still trying to get to that future self, you haven't closed the gap. You haven't taken action steps day after day. Something that I learned at the weekend, I was at a seminar, was the concept of micro wins versus micro losses. Now this is actually something that I've been doing unknown to myself for the last 4 or 5 years. Stacking micro wins every single day. Proving to yourself that you are the person that's capable of achieving those goals. Getting up when the alarm clock rings, going to the gym, eating nutrient-dense, healthy food that's going to help you get towards your physique, your health goals. Putting in extra hours with the business, whatever it's going to be, okay? They're micro wins. They accumulate, they compound, and they start building momentum. But so do micro losses. And when you're just stacking micro losses after micro losses, you're not getting up on time. You're not showing up for yourself. You're not showing up for your partner, whatever it is. You are reaffirming to yourself that you are a failure, that you accept micro losses. And then they compound, they accumulate. And then all of a sudden, the micro losses are so big that it's so hard to get over it. It's so hard to get there. So when you're looking at where you are now and to where you need to get to, and where your goals are by the end of the year, all it is just accumulating micro win after micro win after micro win, day after day, week after week, month after month. That's what's going to get you there, okay? And when it comes to the gap, like the time is going to pass regardless, and nothing changes if nothing changes. So the gap will always stay the same, and the time will pass, but it's down to you how you close that gap. And accumulating those micro wins each and every single day is reaffirming to yourself that you are capable of achieving what you want to achieve. The other thing that needs to come into this, and the reality of the situation, is there has to be sacrifice, there has to be discomfort. New identity means you have to get rid of those old behaviors, the ones that are holding you back, that are sucking energy out of you, the ones that are pulling you down. That might mean that you're less spontaneous, that you have more structure in your day. Saying no more often, cutting off people or whoever it needs to be. That is the reality, and unfortunately, new levels will require new devils. Another phrase that I use a lot. If you want to reach a new level with your business, with your personal life, with your income, whatever it is, you're going to be met with new devils. It's like what Biggie Small said, more money, more problems. It was Biggie, wasn't it? Or was it Jay-Z? Biggie, more money, more problems. If you want to get to a new level, there's going to be new devils. You're going to be met with more discomfort, but discomfort is good. It means you're growing. It means you're stepping into that new version of yourself. For me, 2025, I'm labeling it as the year that I shed my skin. And it was difficult. I had a big identity change in the last year. And that means letting go to old identities, letting go of things that you once thought were you. And that can be tough, but that is what is required. Now, I am someone that has reinvented myself many times before. This is not the first time. I've gone through many different cycles and many different phases in my 26 years on earth. And I'm not going to say it gets any easier, but you get more familiar with it. And the sad thing about that is I still know guys that are still in the same skin that they've been in since they've been born, since school, since secondary school. Maybe they've wanted to change, maybe they wanted to evolve, maybe they wanted to grow, but they were too afraid to shed their old skin. You have to kill the old version of you to become a new version. And that might seem like a lot. That is the truth. And that is the sacrifices that need to be made to get there. Doing the same thing repeatedly and expecting a different outcome is the definition of insanity. Pretty sure that's the exact quote from Albert Einstein. I could be slightly off. You can't just continue to do the same thing and expect a different outcome. If you want to be different, you have to move different. You can't set these goals that you're going to set for yourself for the end of the year and continue to do the same things day to day that you did last year and the last couple of years. It has to change. And as I said, that means more discomfort, but that's a good thing. New level is always going to be met with a new devil. So a lot of that was based on identity and I suppose mindset around it. Now looking at actual action steps that you can take to help you achieve your goals. So first of all, write everything down. Write everything that's going on in your head. Don't filter business, fitness, lifestyle, relationships, friendships, whatever it is. Get it all out and get it all on the paper. Personal favorite way of doing this is put on ChatGPT, put on voice record and just talk, just speak, just keep going, keep digging, keep asking yourself why do I want to achieve this goal? Because X, okay, but why? Okay, but why? Get to that deeper understanding, meaning behind your goals of why it's important to you, because when you know your why, you'll find your how. Super important. The second thing, once you have everything written down, condense it and condense it aggressively. If you have 10 goals, cut it to 5. 10 is too much. Most people don't need more goals. What they need is they need more clarity and focus on more important goals. So clarity would be ambition. Write down the 5 biggest goals that will help move the needle forward. The 5 most important ones for you. Now, once you've done that, choose one. Choose one goal that is the biggest lever that you can pull to make the rest of the goals easier. Now, I personally do this for 3 different categories. I do fitness, I do relationships, I do business. They're my 3 categories where I break things down. I'll have 5 for each, but I will choose one as the main driver, which will help every other one. Okay, so once you've written everything down, condense it to 5 and choose one out of that list that is going to be the most important goal for you to achieve within that bracket this year. Now, when you have your goals written down, that's great, but how are you going to achieve the goals? So once you have your goals written out, write down the action steps required to achieve that goal. And if you can't write the action steps, you're not ready to achieve that goal yet. So if the action step is to a revenue target, if the action step is a fitness related target, whatever it is, you need to write down how that's going to work day-to-day action in the new identity to achieve that goal. So if my goal is to lose weight, it's too vague. My goal is to lose 25 kilos and to become the most confident version of myself. Cool. Okay, what are the action steps? What's the deadline? Because again, a goal is just a dream without a deadline. The goal is end of the year. 25 kilos, 52 weeks, roughly half a kilo a week. Very achievable. What are the action steps to get me there? Do my cardio, prep my meals, go outside, do steps, get good sleep. Write what you want to achieve and how you're going to achieve the goal underneath it, okay? Now, I'm reading a book at the moment. It's called The One Thing. Okay, humans can't multitask. Okay, I know a lot of females think that males can't, but humans can't. Humans cannot multitask. So choose that one most important thing, hyper focus on it. That will beat the feeling of overwhelm. That will beat the feeling of anxiety. Action removes doubt. Action removes anxiety, whatever way you want to say it. Now, when you are setting your goals as well, make your goals real, make them tangible. Make them things that you can touch and feel and hold and see, okay? It's great to have these goals, but if they are so far out of touch of reality, and I don't want to shit on anyone's parade here either. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do. Like, shoot for the stars, fall on the moon, all that kind of stuff. But make them tangible. Make them real life goals that you can touch, feel, hold, that you're going to be able to achieve, and you can have that sense of achievement every single day. And going back into that as well, just quickly, to give yourself that daily sense of achievement, write down every single day what needs to be done. Tick it off as you go. Get that sense of achievement every single day. I live and die by my appointment journal. I have my Google Calendar, I have my whiteboard, but I have my pen and paper appointment journal. And that's what I live and die by. That's what I tick off every single day. That's what I plan every single day, and I have done for the last 4 or 5 years. Micro wins. Reinstalling that belief into myself that I am capable of achieving what I want to achieve. And the last thing when it comes to goal setting, tie your goals, tie the actions that are required to achieve your goals into the new identity of who you need to become. So, Keen, in 12 months' time, and the goals I have set for myself, which are big ass goals this year, I'm not even going to say they aren't, they're massive. Cool. What are the action steps required to the identity to get me there? Okay, so when I do, and I will tick off those action steps every single day, I'm stepping into the shoes of the identity of the person that I'm trying to become, the best version of myself, that I've achieved those goals I've set out to achieve. And when I get there, of course I got there. It's not even a question. It's already done. In my head, I'm already there. So when I get there, it's no surprise. I know this is going to happen. Having belief and confidence in yourself too. But you can have as much confidence as you want, and you can manifest and all this kind of crack. It doesn't work unless you actually put action and action steps towards the goal. And other things then just to remember, like coming into the new year, standards over motivation. Every single day of the week, motivation comes and goes. Standards remove decision making. Okay, so it's not a case of if this will happen, it's when. Or not even when, it's I know this will happen at this date. I know I go to the gym at this time. I know my day works like this, whatever it's going to be. Standards. Don't follow your mood, follow the plan that you have put in place from the start of the year. Because again, going back to your future self, that is the good, rational, what's the best way of putting that? That is the good rational, angel is not the best term for it, but the future self-identity that is not working for instant gratification, that is not relying on motivation, is not relying on dopamine hits. It's disciplined enough to understand that you have to tick the boxes daily regardless of how you feel, because that's what the best version of you in 12 months time would be doing. And unfortunately, you don't want the time is going to pass regardless. As I keep saying, the time will pass. You don't want to get there and have the regret of not getting up on time, of not doing what you set out to do every single day. Non-negotiables, which might seem to people like discipline, it creates freedom long term. Environment is also one of the most important things when it comes to not just goal setting, but when it comes to you achieving what you want to achieve. Willpower is great, okay, and you can have crazy high levels of willpower, but if your environment is sucking energy out of you, if your environment is pulling you down, it ain't going to work. There's only so much willpower you can have until that eventually collapses and your environment eats you up. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I know it's a cliche, kind of somewhat cringy kind of saying, so true. And unfortunately, who you're around and what they're talking about will affect you, your goals, and how you perceive yourself and how you perceive the world. And for me, if someone is in my environment, they add to me. They fill up my cup. They hold me to the standards I hold myself to. And there has been many times, numerous occasions, where people did not fit that bill, and unfortunately, you have to put yourself first. Now, it can be difficult, okay, and I work with this a lot with clients, because sometimes the people who should be supporting you can sabotage you, and that is not nice. But sometimes it's unbeknown to themselves. Maybe they're from a different generation, maybe they just don't understand. But you don't have to understand to support. You can be supportive of someone and their goals without fully understanding why they're doing it. And that might be an awkward conversation that people need to have with whoever it is that is sucking energy out of them. If you're at a table and, you know, with your friends, and they all talk about their goals, what they're achieving, who they're becoming, you know, their daily routines, their training, their business, you're going to level up. You're going to meet that requirement. But if you're at a table and all they do is talk about, you know, gossiping about other people and trying to pull other people down, you are unfortunately just going to fall into that trap. Environment, crucial. And the last one, and I think an important one, is that self-confidence in yourself, that identity shift that you need to have. Once your identity is decided, like once you fully believe in your head, in your mind, that this is achievable, this is attainable, it's not even a question. It's not a case of if, it's already done. It's already done. And that's the confidence that your best version of yourself would have. They would have full confidence in themselves to back themselves when they don't feel like it, to follow through, to be a man of their word. And it's not even a question. It's already done. You've already stepped into the shoes. Now, whenever you reach your goals, whenever you decided to make that identity shift, you've already stepped into those shoes. So when you achieve it, it was never in doubt. It was never in doubt. All right. That's what I'm doing to achieve my goals this year. Hopefully you enjoyed. Happy New Year, folks.